you ready, Arky? The highest scoring game on Turkey Day. We've got Chicago at Detroit, Las Vegas at Dallas, and Buffalo at New Orleans. Walk us through this, pal.
Well, so the numbers you're about to see on the screen are the amount of points scored and given up by each respective team. So just to give you an idea of where we're sort of paying attention to these games. And, you know, as a hurt Cowboys fan, I want to start with the Cowboys game when the Cowboys are taking on the Raiders. And listen, we got a couple of games that are going to be freaking mauled by injuries, key player injuries, and this is one of them. The Cowboys are going to be without Amari Cooper again for the COVID-19 protocols. He is unvaccinated and has to stay out for the 10 days, so it's going to be impossible for him to be able to come back for this game. And now CeeDee Lamb's going to be out for the game. Got a concussion last night trying to beat those Kansas City Chiefs. Dirty, dirty Chiefs. Although it wasn't their fault. Still dirty, dirty Chiefs. So
that game was chippy.
It was. Okay. All right. Enough talking about that. That hurt. So the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's going to be without a couple of really big weapons in that game, and you could tell the loss of Amari Cooper hurt because he had a couple of guys like Wilson dropping passes that he should have had. And Dak was being forced to force the ball. So I'm a little worried there. While Derek Carr's found his team losing 3 straight games, and he's taking the blame for all 3 of those, I don't know how good that passing offense and that offense is going to be that week. Then I look at Buffalo, who is, I don't even want to. You kind of hope you just sort of disregard the game against the Colts, but you kind of can't when you've seen some of the recent struggles on defense. It was a tough look and tough scene for them. And then you have a Saints team who also just got punched in the mouth by the Eagles, but they got punched in the mouth by the physicality of the Philadelphia Eagles. They just ran the ball at them over and over and over again, and they put up all kinds of points. Even Jalen Hurts was sitting there breaking dudes' ankles and looking good in that game. And then there's a game that's probably not going to score any points, to be honest with you. And that's going to be the Lions and the Bears. And the Bears have Justin Fields, who have himself some bruised up ribs. X-rays were negative on him, though. And the Lions probably will have Jared Goff back, although he hurt his oblique before the Pittsburgh game. He sat out Sunday for sort of precautionary and he was hurt issues. Because if you bring Tim Boyle back in, dude threw for 77 yards. That ain't great for as far as scoring points. So if I'm going to lean at this point, I'm probably, oddly enough, even though 2 defenses are very good in this game, I think I'm going to lean toward the Bills and the Saints for the highest scoring game.
I'm with you, friend. I'm going to run through these as well. Yes. Chicago's averaging, I'm going to start with we're going to go in order here. Chicago averaging 16.7, Detroit averaging 16.7. Also, as you mentioned, Justin Fields left the game with a rib injury. Andy Dalton stepped in throwing 2 TDs. Jared Goff missed the team's game this weekend with an oblique injury. Like you said, Tim Boyle stepped in throwing 77 yards and 2 interceptions. Not ideal. So I have no idea what to make of this game. We have no idea who's going to be playing at quarterback for these teams. I'm definitely not picking this one as the highest scoring or largest margin of victory. Vegas is averaging 23.3. Dallas averaging 31.6. Again, there's too many unknowns. Feeling sorry for the Raiders is not a sentence, by the way, I ever imagined coming out of my mouth, but they have been dealt a pretty bad hand over the last month, and it's definitely showing. They've lost 3 straight in those games, have combined for just 43 Arky total points in 3 games. Yikes. Dallas is, averaging 31.6 a game. In their last 2 losses, they combined for just 25 total points also. However, Thanksgiving is what the Cowboys live for. They are at home. Turkey legs will be present, and they want to be the ones eating them when it's all said and done. So I still don't know that they're going to be the highest scoring game, which brings me to Buffalo, New Orleans, who's averaging 31.1 points, New Orleans 24.7. Yes, so without further ado, I am picking this game as the highest scoring game in this Bills-Saints matchup. Based on the stats, this should be the key word, be the highest scoring game. But watch the joke be on all of us and it be the Bears-Lions game who decide to go off and run up the highest score.
If it's the Bears, the Lions, you're doing the Monday show without me. That's what happened. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
Deal.
What do you think about the largest margin of victory? Like, who do you think is going to be the biggest blowout in this game? Because I don't think it's the Bills and the Saints.
I think it's going to be Vegas, Dallas, based on, what I just said, with Vegas not being in the right headspace. They, I don't know, they just haven't gotten it done these last 3 weeks. I think Dallas thrives on Thanksgiving. They're going to be home at Jerry's World, and I can totally see them running away with this one and leaving Vegas in the dust.
See, I think it's going to be Detroit and Chicago.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, listen, you got fans chanting "Fire Matt Nagy" during that game when they're blowing the lead at the end again. Although they haven't got many leads under Matt Nagy, let's be honest. So I think if you get Jared Goff back, and this is what I'm banking on for this to be able to happen.
Oh, so you're picking Detroit to run away with it?
If you get Jared Goff back, I think that there is a legitimate statement to be made that this Chicago Bears team is about ready to mail it in. They've got a bunch of big injuries on this team. Khalil Mack's one of those dudes who hasn't been able to play recently, but he's out for the season. I think you got a really beat up, a physically and emotionally beat up team in Chicago. I think this is a good spot for Detroit to get that win. I got to be honest with you.
Okay, because I was going to ask, well, who's going to be running away with the score in this game? It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I think all three games will be fairly close, the first to the other two. But I think Detroit, Jared Goff, there's just a little something in the air. They're not going to go winless. They're not. Or winless and just with a tie either.
It feels like they're due to get one.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't think that the franchise goes over in a season twice in a decade.